Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for PsychoHobo. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a commentary on Postal, the 2007 film directed by Uwe Boll. Cannot say I'm looking forward to watching this film again, but with that said, for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, let's plays, re-reviews, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. So I'm paused at the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Bold KG. Pitch black pictures. Yeah. Pitch black like my mood. Now, I know the game Postal. I never played it. I've seen playthroughs of it, but it's been a long time ago. I know their games are very politically incorrect. So it's trying to have humor that's very tasteless. But what this film seemed like is if you took South Park and Team America, like those shows and movies, but you don't have the wit like Trey Parker Bastone have. Also, the gist of that game was going around shooting everybody, and I don't remember there's a lot of action in this. You know, someone going postal. So these terrorists are talking about virgins, and, well, how many virgins are we going to get? Do we split them up, all this stuff? Aren't they like... Isn't the joke is that they're doing this and it's like 9/11, that they're flying to the towers? I swear that's like the big joke here or something. They're trying to be very shocking, and this is how tasteless this is, so it must be funny. My question is, how does Uwe Boll get so many of these video game projects and some of these video game franchises that just completely flush down the toilet? Far Cry, what was it? It was Far Cry he did, and House of the Dead, and Alone in the Dark, and this one. I'm like, why did these studios keep giving Uwe Boll these opportunities? After the first or second time, you'd think you would figure, instead they do it a third and a fourth time. Or is this the one where this is the plane that was supposed to hit the Pentagon, but it doesn't? Oh, they're trying to stop it, and then the passengers accidentally veer it into... Yeah, here's the 9/11 towers. I was right the first time. Paradise Wines, Trailer Park, birthplace of Axl Rose. And what's this guy's name? Zack Ward, I believe. I think he was in other Uwe Boll films. He was the guy in Freddy vs. Jason who was the one guy's brother, and you see him. He was an older, like, Freddy victim. He's in the bathtub trying to taunt one of our characters. But it's Freddy's voice coming out of him. I don't even remember the last film he was in. And maybe it's one of those things that investigates maybe this is a video game that there was just no way to turn into a movie and make it work. Maybe just one of those things that just works better as a video game and not as a movie. Because the video game, is there enough there of a narrative, of a story, to stretch into a movie? Then the point of the video game is that you can do whatever you want and the freedom. In this point, action and violence and that's his wife being so absolutely annoying and irritating, and of course he steps in crap. That's the thing, like, I don't care for these characters. I don't care for the juvenile humor. Would you say that's part of Postal? Okay, but I think it was also part of Postal is you don't really have a lot of these dialogue between characters and just going around shooting people or putting gasoline on people and throwing matches and all this other stuff. Like, you want to see someone going on a rampage, a Postal rampage, you might as well just watch the first Rampage movie, which I thought was a better fit for Uwe Boll than this one. Habib's Lucky Dinesh. Oh my god, J.T. Simmons was in this? I completely forgot J.T. Simmons was in this. He was J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man movies. He was in this very good film called Whiplash. I would say, why is J.T. Simmons in this? But some folks, they get a script and they don't know the director's background. Sub, it's Buddy. Especially it feels like In the Name of the Teen. Another video game, Dungeon Siege. And it seems like he's got enough money to really offer people to come in for cameos or smaller roles. That guy, I know I've seen a lot of stuff, the shop owner. I think he was in Stargate, I believe. And I think he was in, maybe he was in the first Mummy. Habib's Lucky Dinesh, secret Taliban hideout. Yeah. I was surprised some of these folks said yes to this and they weren't offended or anything of being offered or doing the part doing the movie. Because they felt, hey, it's a parody, it's a satire. Maybe they thought, you know, like South Park type of thing. Now that guy, I recognize him. He was in the first Hostel. He was the American customer who was getting hyped to do his bid, and he's talking to our lead character. He's like trying to psych himself out of it, then try to psych himself into it. He was also in the recent film Thanksgiving. He was in that film. He was in The Condemned with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I do like him as an actor. Sally, I haven't seen a whole... He hasn't been in a whole lot, especially in bigger roles. But I do like him. I like his demeanor and stuff. So there's been 4 Postal games, and the first Postal was in 1997. Uwe Boll, he did films overseas. Canadian German drama, Heart of America, but then House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, another video game one, and The Name of the Teen, Blood Rain 2, then Postal. After this, he did Seed, Tunnel Rats, Far Cry, Stoic, Rampage, Darfur, The Final Storm, Blubberella, Blood Rain the Third Reich, and The Name of the Teen 2, Two Worlds. I would say the first Rampage and Assault on Wall Street are the only decent ones he's done. He did 2 more Rampage movies, Rampage Capital Punishment, Rampage President Down, which those, I saw bits and pieces, he tried to make it much more political. And then the last film he did was a film called First Shift, which I've never even heard of, but that was in just 2024, this year? September 2024. Wow, so he's coming out with this movie with nobody I recognize. Man. This is what the company fights on, they said. So they haven't seen this company model, which was, of course, awkward as the whole movie is. So yeah, the cast in the film: Zack Ward, Dave Foley, J.K. Simmons, Verne Troyer's in this. Let's see who else. Rick Hoffman, that was the guy I was talking about, who was in Hostel. I guess Michael Perez in this, because he worked with Uwe Boll a lot. Like, I mean, okay, the plot here: Zack Ward teams up with a con artist turned doomsday cult leader who owes the U.S. government over $1 million in back taxes. With big-breasted, scantily clad cult members, they devise a plan to hijack a shipment of 2,000 crotchy dolls, a rare, sought-after plush toy resembling a giant scrotum. Plans to sell them online, where the prices reached as high as $4,000 a doll. Yeah, that's Dave Foley. Guess we don't know why Dave Foley CS this part. I get to be in the bed of naked women and someone has got their nipple right in front of me. Gee, I wonder why he did this film. According to Uwe Boll, the German fan club for Postal contacted him, offering the possibility of the game being adapted to a film. Intrigued by the game's premise and blatant political incorrectness, he contacted Running with Scissors president Vince Desiderio, who sold him the rights under the condition that he would be involved with the script and the production. Apparently, Vince and Postal 2 director Steve Wick pitched a much grittier, darker version of the Postal story, but Uwe Boll rejected it, fully intending to turn it into a comedy in order to use the film as a platform for political satire, as well as revenge against the people who have protested his movies. Revenge for people who protest his movies. He ended up writing the script with assistant director Brian C. Knight, who had worked on all of Boll's previous video game adaptations. Dave Foley was interviewed and said that Uwe Boll did want to make a serious statement about how a cult of heroism had surrounded people who were murdered in 9/11 attacks, that he and Boll agreed that being the victim of terrorism makes people victims, not heroes. Foley added that he tried to talk Boll out of including the notorious 9/11 sequence that opens the film, because the film would have no chance of appearing on many or any screens in the U.S. Came out at the Montreal Fantasia Festival, July 21st, 2007. Limited release in Germany, October 18th. It made $142,000 in Germany. It made $3,980 in Italy. That's $146,000 worldwide. It was supposed to be given a wide release October 2007. It was delayed until May 2008. Theater distributors pulled out of their deal for a wide release of 1,500 screens to a limited release of only 4 screens. Came out on DVD in August 2008 in the 102-minute unrated and the 100-minute rated versions. There's a 118-minute director's cut released September 2008. It's at 9% Rotten Tomatoes. There's Michael Pare. Michael Pare with a gold chain, talking not quite like a gangster, I guess. Sad that Michael Pare got subjected to do. I mean, he agreed to this, but such a much better actor than just these Uwe Boll films. So these two cops, one is Tris Spencer, who is in Don't Be a Menace to South Central, Addicted to Your Juice in the Hood, The Sixth Man. He's a stand-up comedian. He performed on the Chris Rock Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and HBO's Def Comedy Jam. Low Down Dirty Shame, he was Benny. Don't Be a Menace, he was Preach. The Sixth Man, he was Jimmy Stubbs. He was in Blood Rain 2 as Bob the bartender. So he did that same year as this. And the cop just killed this old woman. Now the other guy, that's Ralph Bowler. Which him I've recognized. He's been in quite a few films back in the day. He's one of the bad guys in Cyborg. I think he's the guy who, when Van Damme in Cyborg, he's doing the splits in the tunnel, and Ralph Bowler's the one looking up, and Van Damme's looking down, and Ralph Bowler's looking up more. I think that's him. He was also Conan in that Conan TV show in 1997, Conan the Adventurer. He was one of the soldiers in the original Universal Soldier. Remember the scene where the doctor tells him, the scientist tells him to hold this grenade? He grabs it, but he's also grabbing the guy's hand, and the guy get his hand out. Then cuts to outside, and Dolph Lundgren sees that the vehicle blows up. And that soldier in it who grabbed that, that's Ralph Bowler. Big guy. He was in the Scorpion King. Stuff of that nature. It's just a 4.5 on IMDb. Yeah, just make up your mind, damn it. This guy definitely knew what he wanted, so there you go. Okay, yeah, so Zack Ward got coffee for him and his buddy Dave Foley. There you go. Almost all of J.K. Simmons' lines were ad-libbed. Oh. Happened there. Sorry about that. I saw that someone was flickering, and sometimes I don't have the webcam plugged all the way in, and that's why. So, or sometimes it is plugged in, but then moving around, it gets pulled a little bit out, a little bit loosened, so I gotta make sure it's plugged all the way in. That's why it was doing fine. There was like flickering. I think because maybe I was moving around the computer and stuff, but alright. I'm paused at 24 minutes and 3 seconds. Let's unpause now. As Dave Foley and Zack Ward are out smoking it here. I said, never played the Postal video games. There's a part of me that wants to look them up, though. Some Postal playthroughs. I don't know which Postal game this is based on. If it's more the second game or the third one. I don't know which one. That's the thing. Like, I know Postal has very un-PC humor, but again, it's more action, going around, shooting people, killing people in inventive, crazy doorways. You're going Postal. But again, he wanted to take the game and put much, much, much more of his own political beefs, political complaints, political satire, which they're not that strong of writers. They're not the guys from South Park. And to me, just doesn't come off as that funny or that entertaining. It's definitely not that action-packed. So... Great, we got a souvenir ashtray. Congrats. Now what? Welfare. It's ours to give. Number 98. 24. Yeah, you should not have any. So we're at the welfare office, and there's well, I guess here's your action. Firefight here. And you know the reality that gunfights and violence aren't that big of a deal. Could kind of be entertaining, like the cop goes and shot that old woman, and people barely blinked an eye. Here, there's a shootout, but some people are a bit nonchalant, like the welfare lady. And this is kind of a funny idea, I'll admit. Him looking around to find the lowest number for welfare. How the hell are you closed? Of course you're closed. Of course his wife is cheating on him. I do remember that bit of it. I remember the joke, like they had the old joke. Roll me over in flour, find the wet spot type of joke. I don't know why you want to be with that lady anyway. She's bigger than the earth. I mean, blimps are more swimsuit models than her. Okay, beat him up now. He's about as big as a twig. There's a lot of things you can do to him. He's not that big. He's not that tough. Again, if he sneezes, he'll blow away. I mean, there were Twizzlers with more steroids than him. A stick of juicy fruit has more oomph to it than this guy. So now the guy's literally throwing the flour on her. Because she's overweight. You get it? Ew, what an ugly wedding photo. Yeah, leave him alone. That's the idea. So you look at Dave Foley's perspective. Is like, okay, I get to be in this and hang out with all these ladies. What can I say about Priest character? Doesn't deserve it. He definitely did. Smacking this guy in the face. Well, he's definitely in now. I mean, it would be nice to have a film of this without all the Taliban stuff. Just trying to be very hard to be shocking and come off as funny, but it's just not. Yeah, praise whatever you want. Praise Miss Cleo. Sorry, I'm not saying anything now. They're just shipping of crotchy dolls. I wonder if that's part of the games, the crotchy dolls. I would assume so. I don't know why anyone would want these dolls in the first place. I mean, honestly, those dolls seem like a Kevin Smith joke that he would make today. Those kind of dolls. That's the sad thing. As I'm watching this, like some of the humor and scenes seem like Kevin Smith would do this type of thing if in a comedy today, especially when you watch something like Yoga Hosers or Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. And Dave Foley's a talented guy. It makes me wonder why he wanted to do a film like this. I mean, I guess he doesn't really get to star in a whole lot of movies. It's not a whole lot of films he gets to be like one of the bigger names, bigger stars of it. I mean, is this what people wanted? I mean, if you like the Postal games, is this what you wanted? Contemplating about stealing dolls? I guess that's like, hey, once in a while, there's a little bit of violence so far. The FU party, bend over and vote. Okay, yeah, so this guy's going to blow himself up to get JT Simmons, I guess. Okay, so he went up to JT Simmons and blew himself up, so... Which didn't blow up JT Simmons, he's still there, he's just sliding against the glass. And I don't know, man, it's just like, okay, great, so take away one of the decent actors in the movie. Great, he didn't have much to do, but okay. I guess, you know... Like, JT Simmons couldn't do any better roles than this? Have like 3 scenes where he's part of the FU party, then gets blown up? Like, when do we see this guy going postal? Damn movie's called Postal. And you're 38 minutes in the... We're 38 minutes in the movie, and we still have not seen this guy go postal. Instead, now we're seeing him take forever to get over a fence. He's going to step on the guy. Yeah, he's going to step on the guy, use him as a step stool. I guess at least it worked. Talk about being a stepping stone. There you go. Harry. So it's the same cop that blew away that lady before. Nah. So he just knows to steal this guy's money. Now, how does he know how to hotwire a car? Just happens to know how to do that, huh? Okay. Looks like milkshake he's sucking up on. Poor Harry. Staying in a car, have to live in a garage, eating probably old ass wannabe milkshake, whatever the fat it is. Again, even for a guy that's never played the game, what part of this is like the Postal game? For those, okay, I'm in the dark. If you're a big fan of Postal, please tell me what part of this so far is like the Postal game. Any of the games. Maybe the Crunchy Dolls, maybe they're part of it, the other stuff, but what's the connection? This planning to steal dolls and all this other stuff. My God, man. And there's an hour and 14 minutes left in the movie. An hour and 14 minutes. So Zack Ward and his group want the dolls. The Taliban wants the dolls. As the tween, in between they shall meet. Here's a bit between George W. and Bin Laden. I mean, they did get a guy that kind of looks like George W. I'll give you that. And not sure about voice, but they got a guy that kind of looks like him. Remember when George W. was looked at as just the worst president, and you see how things have gone? And you see the people that have been president for a bit, and you almost go, man, I kind of miss George W. It says Verne Troyer, Mini-Me, and Austin Powers films. I think Verne Troyer has passed away. I forget what year he passed away. But yeah, I know Verne Troyer has passed away. Which is too bad. Rest in peace to him. I mean, it's kind of... That's the thing when you're criticizing a comedy, especially one that's supposed to be so goofy. It's supposed to be stupid. It's supposed to be offensive and un-PC. So you're kind of like, okay, can you really complain about the plot or the story? Because these type of films are not going to have the most logical story of anything. So now you're a little Germany. Pretty much Oktoberfest. Dr. Mengele, concentration camp playground. Uwe Boll as himself, of course. Of course, Uwe Boll's got to put himself into it. Of course, he had to put himself in it. I did put on my list of 10 worst directors. And that's why I think so far, I mean, I said this before, this is probably, for me, the worst Uwe Boll film. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot about Far Cry is up there. Alone in the Dark, House of the Dead are pretty bad. Like, okay, House of the Dead is very bad. But I will say, I did a bit of goofy B-movie fun out of the whole action scene. I am Fury. Where they're just shooting all the zombies, and you have these massive head explosions and over-the-top practical gore. And as goofy as it is, like, have the action and doing, like, the super slow-mo bullet time. Like, in a weird way, it's ambitious. Maybe ambitious in the wrong ways, but as bad as the scene is, I do have fun with that scene. As I see people like Jurgen Prochnow and Clint Howard in there. Still a bad movie, though. Alone in the Dark is really bad. But it felt shorter than this. It's nice to see Steven Dorff in there. I like some of the soundtrack, like at the end there. At the end with the end credits song. But those films, you can maybe get comedic quality out of it when it wasn't intentional. But now you have a guy that's purposely trying to do a comedy, purposely trying to get you to laugh, purposely trying to forcefully tell you we're in on the joke, that just comes off as more pretentious or just try hard. Blood Rain is pretty bad. In the Name of the Teen is pretty bad. See, again, just saying stuff just to be shocking about how he gets horny all the time and blah 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 with the crowd and people. Little, oh my god, man! It's funny. I did a stream the other day as I'm recording this, and someone asked, like, what's worse, an action film that's that exciting, a horror film that's that scary, or a comedy that's that funny? And at first I was going to say an action film that's not exciting, but at the same time, you hope that it has other elements to it. Horror films, I don't really get scared by a lot of horror films, but hopefully they're entertaining because they got some neat special effects or atmosphere, or you like the characters. I would say a comedy that's that funny because that's trying the first or foremost goal is people consistently making jokes. If so many of them are falling flat, a lot of times they're either trying to mug or trying to. We're very funny, right? You're laughing, right? Yeah, we're so funny, right? And it just comes off as desperate and lackluster and God, it's not working. They say give those guys a guard job. Beautiful looking ladies, I'll say that. Beautiful looking ladies. Oh. Okay, you got the toys, but how you don't get them out? I'm sure they got a plan. See, you guys are smoking, but So for this lady, the guy did a pooper in her mouth, and she's licking her lips, and put taking it, put it in her mouth. Like, it's not even within the rest of the scene where she's so disgusted and horrible about this, but then she starts doing this. I'm like, you think it's horrible and terrible, but you look at it as if it's you love it and you enjoy it so much. Like, which is it? If it's one of those like she's trying, okay, like the joke would be, give me some sanitizer, but then she sanitizes her hands, and then someone goes, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Really? What? I want my hands clean, but not your mouth." You know, like maybe something like that. Maybe that'd be another lazy, lame joke as well. But I don't know. Little Germany. So Uwe Boll gives gold teeth to Verne Troy. To Verne Troy, I should say, not Vernon. Verne Troy. Verne Troyer, God. Verne Troyer. But I wonder if the reason he gives gold to Verne Troyer is, I remember there's a rumor that how was it true? Was it found out that like Uwe Boll got his films financed because it's like German gold or something, something of that nature? If that's the case, maybe that's why they have the joke of him paying Verne with gold. Verne Desi, creator of Postal video game, and he's sacking Uwe Boll. That could almost be a funny joke that the video game programmer it hates Uwe Boll is trying to fight and choke him out. So much for Harry. But then you have Uwe Boll, the shootout occurs and Uwe Boll shoots the video game designer. Of course. And you try to be the bit more shocking that so far only the kids have been shot. Trying to be more of that shocking humor. I'm like, okay. It's like they should see that movie. Children shouldn't play with dead things. Or no, like beware children that play. Beware children that play. I think it was what it was called. Of course, Uwe Boll says, "I hate video games." Yeah, we already know. Like you don't have to tell us, dude. We've known already. And the sky is blue. And water's wet. Thanks for telling us the obvious. We know you hate video games. We've seen the movies. It was a weird, like, bazooka shot to put in there. So Verne Troyer is subjected to being in his own suitcase, being lit up from the inside with a glow in the dark dildo. Not even glow in the dark, just one that lights up like a flashlight. Or whatever you want to call it. Okay. I guess there's your violence, your postal rampage thing. Yeah, why are they bringing Verne Troyer? That's a good question. Why are you bringing him? Just leave him there. Doesn't make sense to bring him with. Doesn't make sense at all. Alright, so now we got this car chase going on. Cops going after our lead characters. Thanks for shooting the car. Hope you waste all your bullets. Now, what's that in the girl's mouth? Is it supposed to be she puked? Okay, he hit the girl that was at the welfare office. Okay. I swear this lady, she looks familiar too, like I've seen her in other stuff. I'm sure he's thinking about the movie too when he says, "Why did I take this job?" As in, why was I in this movie? Why do this movie? Why am I in an Uwe Boll movie? Good question. Unless they paid a good chunk of money. So we got into their location that they were driving to. The bad guys are there. Zack Ward is going to hide the truck. The other people got a plan that just involves Verne Troyer. There were people chasing him, and now there's nobody. Oh, don't say there's nobody else chasing him. Well, I haven't seen this film since it came out, so I don't remember much of anything about this, like at all. And that guy don't have a heart attack if he runs any further. Yeah, they're all actresses. So Zack was able to get back to his place, and now they're going to go through and get to some underground facility underneath this place, I guess. Sorry, I'm not saying much. I mean, at the end of the day, you have comedies. You kind of the simplest review is didn't think it was funny. People thought it was funny. That's cool. I didn't think it was funny. It's a 4.5 on IMDb, deservedly so. Are there worse comedies I've seen? There's this one called The Wet Ones, which is like a 2.5 hour movie where someone playing with dolls. There's all this other stuff, but this was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Damn. Video games are the cause of violence with kids. Well, if they're movies like this that cause you violence, absolutely movies like this. Oh, the cat silencer. Yeah, I think that was in the video game, the cat silencer. I think that was. So that's something they took from the game, the cat silencer. I think that was in one of the video games. I guess nice enough the cat survived that and is still alive. So must have a hell of a shot. That bullet right through everything, didn't hit a major organ out of the mouth. Perfect shot. So just at least so far the cat lived. I don't know about the rest of the movie, but so I guess that's something good. The women are hot and a god shelter. So I guess in case if there's a biblical apocalypse, we're a shelter to be safe. Calm down, dude. You're way too overacting. You should get a citation for overacting. Actually, maybe citation would be more positive. You should get like a demerit or. Can you imagine you're a little person? You just have people keep tearing you around, scene after scene. How humiliating that would be. Like I do have legs I can walk. It'll take a few more steps to get there, but you don't need to tear me like I'm a baby. I guess it's a beautiful woman like that. Maybe people would be more gun ho. I think Dave Foley's doing the best he can. Like I don't think Dave Foley's given a bad acting performance. And I like Dave Foley. Like I said, I do think he's doing the best he can with what he's given. And his reaction there that we've seen the scene before of realizing his buddy here is even extra crazy. He's like, oh, man, I didn't know he was this crazy. That was a little bit humorous. Also, did this movie need to be almost 2 hours long? Comedies. Comedies usually a good running time is 90 minutes, 100 minutes for comedies. Not almost 2 hours, man. So Dave Foley's buddy wants to wipe out the whole planet. Read between the lines. Read between these lines. What's between these lines? Okay, read between those lines. You know, read between the lines of this. So, read between the lines of some butt crack. Or just a butt in general. Just look at a butt and read between the lines there. You'd be just like that one lady with the mouth, porta potty mouth. I wish it was the beginning of the end of this movie. That'd be nice. Now we have a random bit of 5,000 monkeys. You definitely don't want to put them with real chimpanzees. Just they could be very, very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Chimpanzees, again, a lot of monkeys could be very, very dangerous. So the idea is Verne Troyer just got anally assaulted by a bunch of monkeys. It's a movie. It's an Uwe Boll movie. Those are the jokes. Those are the humor, man. Yeah, they get the guy who's like mentally handicapped. I don't know what his issue is. His problem is. "117 steps to dominating your employees." Put crystal meth in the water? The U.S. Air Force uses crystal meth to fuel pilots when they fly over. Oh my God, man. What's bad? What's worse than a comedy? Of course, an unfunny comedy. What's worse than that? An unfunny comedy that's 2 hours long. What's worse than that? An unfunny comedy that's 2 hours long. That's very, very, very political. I don't care what tubes she has and where she places them, up her nose with a rubber hose. I don't care. Just be done. Get mad. Get glad. I don't care. I really don't care. End it. 37 minutes left. When's the postal guy gonna go postal? I just to wait till the end, but I guess the postal dude has technically killed 2 people so far. Michael Pare and the guy with the cat silencer. The cop he knocked out. He just killed here, right? Is there a Dave Foley just killed? He's gonna raise and shoot him. Is it in the head or in the chest? Yep, in the chest. He knows where the dolls are, right? This guy is so overacting. It's almost as if, like, I know it's not the case, but, like, he wants to be that guy. Remember Silent Hill 2? The video, speaking of video games, was it Eddie or whatever? Just a big guy with a gun, and he's like trying to be all crazy, kooky, talking this way. Like maybe with that script and better director, he could play like Eddie in Silent Hill 2. Almost seems like that. Again, if you're talking about like, in comparison with the video game, it's just I don't see what you would get out of this if you like the video game. I really do not. It just feels so interminably long, too. And Zack Ward as the lead. You know what, to be fair, I have seen much, much worse leads. To be fair, I've seen much worse leads. If people say I'm not fair, Zack Ward and Dave Foley, I think, are doing what they can with the story and the script that they're given. They are trying to be manageable. but it's just that the story is bloated. Not bloated, but just it's a pretty boring film. I don't think much of any of the jokes work. You don't really get as much carnage as you're thinking with the Postal brand. The poison brownies. Like I said, Zack Ward. I'm not minding Zack Ward himself. Watching this again, maybe just I've seen so much worse. So I guess you say this is the postal guy being postal. And they're just standing in a room and people come in one by one. Just the idea of cred that they're using practical squibs, not just CGI. Okay, and the two ladies just decided to shoot each other for whatever reason. I know they gave a reason, but it's still like a whatever reason. Okay. Making out with two beautiful ladies, just not too bad. Damn, 2 minutes later. Yeah, I guess 2 minutes later sounds about right. Well, those are sunglasses, so I guess this is now he's going to the postal territory. This one guy with the glasses, I think he's the Mr. Lebowski in the Big Lebowski, I believe. The one that people think is Jeff Bridges, but is the older guy in the wheelchair. I think that's him. The Big Lebowski, the Mr. Lebowski. He should turn around and shoot these people. Maybe eventually he will. Yep, I guess that's what's going to happen. Yep, there you go. Well, there you go. You don't get to see a whole lot of it, though. Like, that's kind of what you're building up to. You don't even get to see a whole lot of that. Just more of him going, and less of the. You saw more of those terrorists like hitting the kids than here. Like the postal guy being postal. But there you go. Yeah, I wonder like who the hell's that guy? But I just thought everybody going after him. So now, I mean, they got into the truck. We didn't even see how they got to the truck. They're just driving the truck. So, and then pretty much what they added in there was that there was a baby in a carriage, and the van hit the baby. They didn't realize it. It just with this classical music, cute baby in the carriage, hit the baby. You hear this squish sound. It flies up, lands, and you're kind of sitting there going, you know what this is? It's a glorified trauma movie. That's really what this is. It's like Uwe Boll taking the Postal game, which again I know is on PC, but it's like, let's make it like I guess a slicker looking trauma movie. As in, like if I look at the picture quality, I guess the camera they used, it's like a little bit more of a higher budget looking, slicker looking trauma movie. So now the two cops are having a threesome with the overweight wife. He's going to blow that up. Take care of three in one go. And yeah, I know I'm not listening to the dialogue. I mean, the dialogue ain't worth a pot to piss in to listen to anyway. I mean, what time am I going to listen to with the dialogue? It's the Postal movie with Uwe Boll. There's really not much to listen to. I'll put them back on in a minute, but now it's just like Ralph Moeller and this other guy having a threesome with this lady. Now everyone in the trailer park is shooting at this place. Hmm. So pretty much is everyone converging on this trailer park. The redneck trash yokels are firing, the terrorists are firing, cops were firing, they're in the trailer, everything. So now he's just warning them they've got a bomb. Yep, you definitely got their attention. Yeah, Zack Ward could work in a lead role, just in a much better movie away from Uwe Boll. I think he could work. I was probably, when I reviewed this originally, I was probably much more harsh on him. Maybe because I've just seen since 2007, that era till now. So, God, 17. 17. 17 years? Oh my God. Yeah. Just 3 more years, it's 20 years old. Oh my God. So 17 years. In 17 years, I've seen much, 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 much worse performers. Feeders 2, Razor Teeth. What was it? Pretty much all the stuff on my letterbox, like the worst movies of all time. Like, a lot of that stuff. Well, they ain't Huddian, at least not for long. This Uwe Boll film's got an end and a... There you go. Sorry, I'm not saying anything. I'm just kind of... The scene just feels like it's just going on forever. So it's like up close to the machine gun and then random people getting squibs. You don't really see much great job in connection with the environment, the geography of it all. Like, you don't know why Zack Ward's not getting hit at all when they're all aiming at him. You're not supposed to think about it because it's a goofy, stupid comedy, but it's like they're standing right in the open and they're getting shot at and nobody hits him, but then he's able to hit everybody. Especially for an extensive amount of time. Not even like moving, not even a moving target or anything. So now it's calling George W. I just wish I knew how to quit, yeah. So. Great, so let's have fight scenes and let's have really shaky cam. Have the camera really up close to really not show any amount of the choreography. And just keep cutting away and doing all this stuff to really make the hand-to-hand combat look lousy as hell. Of course, that's where they're supposed to build is. Why not? Oop, there you go. How to fire an employee without going postal. Yeah, listen, let's just kill off the better actors. You know, we killed off J.T. Simmons. We killed off Dave Foley when there's like almost 40 minutes left of the movie. And then we kill off, Rick Hoffman there. Just comes off as a very lousy, lame action finale. That there's some blood and there's a lot of dead bodies, but just like, a lot of lousy stuff. So George W. tried to blow up China and someone else, and now 30 missiles are heading towards them. I guess Uwe Boll making fun of how stupid George W. was. And again, it's funny. I wasn't the biggest George W. guy, but doesn't he just seem so much more quaint compared to nowadays? Just seems much more quaint. Go figure. Where's all the movies about Joe Bidet? Our current president today. Where's all the movies and satire about him? There you go. Especially how he handled trying to take people out of countries and all the terrible stuff there. Leaving people behind and all that. Technically they could try to go to that shelter, that bomb type of shelter. You would think, try to go for that. And that's why he thought of the shelter to begin with. But just to have this scene here with George W. Osama while the bombs drop. Like Skynet. Which pretty much made the entire plot of the movie pointless, of trying to stop the bad guys from releasing this flu when it didn't matter. Just everything got blown up, the whole world got blown up, everybody's dead anyway, so just made the whole story and the whole plot pointless. So congrats on that. Hey, the whole story and the whole plot are pointless? Congrats. Like you wasted your time. Well, it's just a stupid, goofy comedy you're not supposed to take. Well, again, it wasn't funny. It was just goofy and stupid. But it wasn't funny, at least to me. Based on the... Postal. Zack Ward I warmed up to. Dave Foley I liked, but they could not save this movie. Over long, hour and 50 minutes, a lot of jokes that just did not land. Got very tedious action scenes that appreciate this practical twists, but no sense of style, no sense of timing with the editing and the choreography of the action scenes. Definitely does not know how to handle that stuff. Which is, I thought there was, whether good or bad, there was still more style in House of the Dead in that action scene. Whether good or bad, it's crazy. Rick Hoffman, what was it? J.K. Simmons, wasted in this. I'd love to know, like, a hardcore fan of the game, what they think of this. Maybe they enjoy it because of the un-PC humor. But I would really sincerely want to know, what does a fan of the game feel about this movie? I mean, I don't really get a lot of comments under these videos, so a lot of times I'll like ask questions and don't get an answer, but I'll ask you anyway. If you're a fan of the games, please leave a comment on how you feel about this movie. Please do. Because this is a pile of crap. A pile of crap. And I'm so glad it's done. Because I'll never have to see this film again. My God, man. My God. I feel like I want to fart. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.